Hello everyone. Welcome to Magical Stocks channel, where fundamentals meet technical. PSE index went down from 6,378.07 last April 23, 2021, to 6,370.87 this April 30, 2021. This performance is equivalent to a minus 0.11% decrease in the index for the week. Our magical stocks, however, went up from 468.4k pesos to 472.13k pesos, or a 0.8% increase in our investment. Overall, our magical stocks profit went up from 17.29k pesos to 21.02k pesos. We will update the 3 batches of magical stocks together with the 4 experimental magical stocks for this week's video. Before we proceed with our update, and if you are interested in investing using our magical stocks or monitoring our system's effectiveness, please like this channel, subscribe, and hit the notification button to keep you updated weekly. Let's first discuss the November experimental magical stocks performance from April 23, 2021, to April 30, 2021. Here is our worksheet for our November experimental stocks. Our top performer is SECB gaining 3.59%, while the least performer is MEG losing minus 20.25%. We have one sell signal in our 5 experimental stocks. Let's look at the trend which we started to monitor last November 20, 2020. The PSE index went down from minus 11.04% to minus 11.14%, losing minus 0.1%. The experimental magical stocks, however, went up from minus 5.89% to minus 5.09%, gaining 0.8%. The experiment is below the benchmark line, while the index is also below the benchmark line. Our experiment is above the index with a gap of 6.05% this April 30, 2021, coming from 5.15% last April 23, 2021. Let's now discuss the December experimental magical stocks performance from April 23, 2021, to April 30, 2021. Here is our worksheet for our December experimental stocks. Our top performer is FGen gaining 10.28%, while the least performer is DMC losing minus 12.38%. We still don't have any sell signal for each of the 5 experimental stocks. Let's look at the experiments trend, which we compare against the PSE index starting December 18, 2020. The PSE index went down from minus 12.3% to minus 12.4%, losing minus 0.1%. The experimental magical stocks, however, went up from minus 3.6% to minus 3.42%, gaining 0.18%. The experiment is below the benchmark line, while the index is also below the benchmark line. Our experiment is above the index with a gap of 8.98% this April 30, 2021, coming from 8.7% last April 23, 2021. Let's now discuss the February experimental magical stocks performance from April 23, 2021, to April 30, 2021. Here is our worksheet for our February experimental stocks. Our top performer is STR but losing minus 2.5%, while the least performer is VLL losing minus 16.78%. We still don't have any sell signal for each of the 5 experimental stocks. Let's look at the experiments trend, which we compare against the PSE index starting February 19, 2021. The PSE index went down from minus 7.92% to minus 8.02%, losing minus 0.1%. The experimental magical stocks also went down from minus 7.86% to minus 8.13%, losing minus 0.26%. The experiment is below the benchmark line, while the index is also below the benchmark line. Our experiment is below the index with a gap of minus 0.11% this April 30, 2021, coming from 0.05% last April 23, 2021. Let's now discuss the March experimental magical stocks performance from April 23, 2021, to April 30, 2021. Here is our worksheet for our March experimental stocks. Our top performer is TEL gaining 6.78%, while the least performer is GT Capped but gaining 2.54%. We still don't have any sell signal for each of the 5 experimental stocks. Let's look at the experiments trend, which we compare against the PSE index starting March 19, 2021. The PSE index went down from -0.9% to -1.01%, losing -0.11%. The experimental magical stocks also went down from 5.52% to 5.16%, losing -0.36%. The experiment is above the benchmark line, while the index is below the benchmark line. Our experiment is above the index with a gap of 6.17% this April 30, 2021, coming from 6.42% last April 23, 2021. Here is the worksheet for our 3 batches of magical stocks. Our first batch is above the market with a gap of 20.33% this April 30, 2021, coming from 18.03% last April 23, 2021. Our second batch is above the market with a gap of 1.72% this April 30, 2021, coming from 0.49% last April 23, 2021. Our third batch is below the market with a gap of -0.66% this April 30, 2021, coming from 0.33% last April 23, 2021. To summarize our investment, the first batch of magical stocks is gaining by 27.61%, coming from 25.43%. The second batch is losing by -9.83%, coming from -10.97%. The third batch is losing by -1.35%, coming from -0.26%. Overall, with an investment of 451.11k pesos, our investment's current value is 472.13k pesos, equivalent to 4.66%, coming from 3.83%. We have a gaining first batch, a losing second batch and a losing third batch. That will be all for the Magical Stocks update this week. Thank you for watching. Next week, we will continue the trend update of the 3 batches of magical stocks and the 4 experimental stocks. Quote, you have to identify your weaknesses and work to change. Keep a trading diary, write down your reasons for entering and exiting every trade. Look for repetitive patterns of success and failure. Unquote. Alexander Elder. See you in the following video. Have a great day ahead.